This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, emotional scenes at a Dunedin primary school as pupils and the school community say goodbye to their outgoing principal. Environmental officers are busy checking water and environment measuring sites around Otago following heavy rains last week. And tributes flow for a leading New Zealand genealogist at Toitu Settlers Museum. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Simon Anderson. Since its formation in 2012, Bathgate Park School in South Dunedin has been led by Principal Whetu Cormac. Today there were emotional scenes as pupils in the school community said goodbye to the outgoing principal who resigned earlier in the year.
Tributes and more than the odd tear flowed as the community around Bathgate Park School farewelled departing Principal Whetu Cormac, who thanked parents for having faith in him, the staff and board when the school was created 8 years ago.
Look at the results here today. It's been awesome. Can I thank you all once again? E te whānau o te raki atia, mō reira tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Katrina Robertson has worked with Whetu Cormac for more than a decade and last month replaced him as principal. She delivered her speech this afternoon in the style of a report card.
Whetu is an excellent communicator who has the ability to converse in a range of settings, quite often for quite a long time, and with a variety of audience sizes. He is able to be an active listener, using deeper questioning to ensure depth of understanding.
Arts and culture have been at the foundations of Bathgate Park since its inception, following the merger of Forbury and Wakadru Intermediate Schools in 2012. Following a performance from the TAS trio of Tiana, Ashley and Sian, the mic was opened for people to pay their own tributes to Whetu Cormac.
You and I were here 2012 and you had a vision for Bathgate Park, and I know today you're moving on to your new world, but today the vision has been realised. You said it, and I felt it.
I just want to acknowledge you, Whetu, because your decision to take on the leadership of the Polifest took it to where it is today. And we will always acknowledge that, and that you gave lots of people, almost lots of different people, opportunity to step up and make it what it is.
Speaking at the traditional cup of tea following the farewell assembly, Whetu Cormac says seeing all the children and community there was heartening.
Well, 8 years later, we're this amazing school. The board had a vision for the arts and technology, and to see the performances today during my farewell really showed me the hard work that we did over the last 8 years. It's paid off, and this community is strong. The South Dunedin community is strong. The young people are beautiful.
He says the day was full of emotions, and he's proud to leave the school in good heart and very capable hands. In Dunedin, The South Today.
The 5 biggest spenders vying for a seat around Dunedin's City Council tables spent more than $100,000. The City Council has released the list of donations and expenses from this year's local government election. Second-term councillor and new Deputy Mayor Christine Gary was the top spender, using $54,000 for her campaign. Gary was followed by fellow councillors Andrew Wiley, Chris Staines, Jules Radich and Lee Vandervis. The councillor who spent the least on their campaign was Jim O'Malley, who for the second election in a row spent nothing. Candidates for the Otago Regional Council spent much less than their City Council counterparts. The biggest spender was Michael Laws, who spent nearly $8,000 for his re-election. Environmental officers have been busy checking the water and environment measuring sites around Otago following last week's heavy rain. Luggett Creek has been one of more than 60 sites across the region that required inspection.
Environmental Officer Mike Anderson collecting data on the water level and flow at Luggett Creek. The floating boogie board carries equipment used to measure the amount of water currently being discharged down the river after last week's heavy rains.
It's a boogie board with an acoustic Doppler system in it, so it's The instrument that has a frequency and it measures down and bounces off the bottom and measures velocity and depth, so then we can get a cross-sectional area and velocities to get discharge.
Environmental Officer John O'Young's job is to conduct regular tests at more than 60 sites across the region.
At the site here we have a wood temperature logger as well, recording wood temp. At other sites we've got DO sensors and a whole heap of, there's rain gauges and groundwater sensors as well that we monitor, and air quality.
This Luggett Creek site is part of a larger environmental network collecting data including water temperature, rain, groundwater and air quality from various locations. Following flood and high water events, the officers try to visit all sites in the network as soon as possible.
So all of the sites, flow sites, water level sites, we have to visit at least monthly. If there's been an event like there has been just recently, we try and visit them pretty soon after to see if there's any damage, debris caught around them, if it's reading inaccurate.
He says the data collected is available to all who need it.
Our job as environmental officers in the monitoring team is just to make sure the instrumentation's working. We're doing the data collection up to a standard. We've got a standard NEMS, which is National Monitoring Standard. And so we collect up to that, and we have this information available for the public and for any stakeholder really that can be scientists, anyone that can use it.
The information that's collected is shared on the Land, Air, Water Aotearoa website, providing information for all water users. In Luggett, the South Today.
A popular Dunedin beach accounted for one of the highest number of rescues across New Zealand last summer. St Kilda Surf Lifesaving Club was kept busy with the third highest number of rescues of any club in New Zealand. St Kilda Club President Peter Gibbons told the Otago Daily Times that although St Kilda lifeguards made 31 rescues, many of those came at other beaches. Gibbons says the numbers reflect the hard work of lifeguards across the city. From today, lifeguards will be posted 7 days a week at 4 main Dunedin beaches for the next 6 weeks. Tributes flowed yesterday for a leading New Zealand genealogist. Eleanor Leckie has worked in the archives at Toitu Settlers Museum for over 40 years.
One of the descendants of Scottish national poet Robert Burns can be found working behind the scenes at Toitu Settlers Museum in Dunedin. Eleanor Leckie has spent 40 years poring over genealogical archives, for which she received a certificate of appreciation from Dunedin's Mayor Aaron Hawkins. Her volunteer work, which was all unpaid, was praised by friends and colleagues as she stepped down from the Otago Settlers Association yesterday.
Such a difference that's made to people's ability to trace their own forebears and get in touch with who they are. That's a really important piece of work, and that's a really core function to the Otago Settlers Association, to Toitu, the museum, and without Eleanor, we wouldn't have been able to do it anything like as well or as easily as we have been able to do it over the years.
Always paying attention to detail, Leckie has archived schools, churches, cemeteries and colonial ship records. She took the switch from analogue to digital all in her stride as technology progressed over the years.
I did start before computers, but now computers revolutionised it. I don't think I'd get everything done now without a computer.
Now she is hoping to spend more time in the comfort of her own home.
I'm hoping I might get more stuff that I'm able to do at home rather than coming to the place to do it. I'm quite happy to do it still at home, but I'm not quite so good at getting up quite so early in the morning anymore.
Museum curator and historian Sean Brunihan called Leckie one of New Zealand's foremost genealogists. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. A long closed bridge in North Dunedin has been reopened and a tidy golfer had the round of her life at the weekend. See you after the break.
Hi, welcome back to Alex Campbell Menswear. Have we got a super deal for you? For the entire month of December, right up to the 31st, we have 25% off the lot. All our menswear, all the latest, newest, freshest, summer fashion and their everyday essentials are 25% off.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So from all of us at Alex Campbell's 3 stores, we wish you a merry, thrifty Christmas and a fashionable New Year.
It's that time of year when we all spend time with our family and friends. Please enjoy Christmas, but keep an eye out for the people who are struggling and may need a helping hand. My office closes on the 20th of December, opens on the 13th of January. Have a great summer, a great Christmas.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Merry Christmas everyone. Have a happy and safe new year from everyone at Garrador, Dunedin.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Merry Christmas from Dunedin Christian School.
No Mainoa, welcome back. Dunedin's Dundas Street is whole again. Otago Regional Council flood work has completely blocked the bridge which crosses the Water of Leith at Leith Street intersection in North Dunedin since late February. Contractors removed the fence which blocked the bridge this afternoon, finally reopening it to motorists nearly 6 months behind schedule. The bridge was supposed to reopen in July, but the council determined extra work was required during construction, delaying the project. The work is part of the Leith Flood Protection Scheme, which has been ongoing for more than a decade. It was supposed to be just a lazy Sunday, smacking a white ball around a large course for Tania Stevens. However, the Taieri-based golfer produced an outstanding round with a pair of hole-in-ones.
Golf. For some, an excuse for a casual 10-kilometre stroll. For others, a driving, all-consuming passion. For Taieri Lakes golf course player Tania Stevens, a quiet weekend round of golf turned into a crazy Sunday.
It was surreal. I was so excited the first one, and then we saw it, but we're too scared to believe the second one, so we ran all the way to the hole and checked it, and I was sort of like a wind-up toy on steroids.
The chances of that happening are said to be about 67 million to 1. She says bagging 2 aces on the front 9 is pretty out of character for her, as the nearest she typically gets to the hole is about 2 feet. She says she didn't do anything different to her usual approach.
I just thought it was a weekend ladies playing the midweek ladies, and to concentrate and turn my shoulders and concentrate, and it all worked out for me on the day.
On the first hole-in-one, she says her playing mates thought her ball was close to the hole.
So then I walked up here, up to the hill, and looked all around the outskirts of the green for my ball. Hesitantly walked over to the hole, and next thing I'm going, it's in the hole!
The right-hander plays off a 26 handicap and started playing golf 4 years ago after having to give up squash, and says the second hole-in-one featured her ball completely avoiding a large water hazard.
The flat hole, got to hit it across the lake, and all I wanted to do was get it over the lake. Might not have had the cleanest of shots, but it was straight and it bounced and then it rolled and it rolled and it rolled, and I saw it go in and I was like, and Di went, "It's gone in the hole, it's gone in the hole." So we didn't believe it. We sprinted all the way up to the hole pushing our trundlers, and it was in.
Stevens and her playing partners played just 9 holes as the rain got heavier, so they retired to the clubhouse, where the club put on a few refreshments before Stevens shouted the women in the house. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we continue our look back at the year in news. Tonight it's September, and for how long will the wet weather continue? Find out after the break.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen, and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
In my young life, I've learned how to accept Christmas is a great time for all the family and friends to get together. There's no harm in indulging in a little bit of alcohol and food. What we've got to realise is you need to moderate in everything you do in life, so we don't over-excess anything to create problems in your life. So I wish you a great Happy New Year and a prosperous 2020.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Hi there, it's that time of year again, and we're proud to bring you the coverage of the Santa Parade, starring me and lots of others. Brought to you by the good people at Alex Campbell Menswear.
Thanks for staying with us. In the lead up to Christmas, we're taking a look back at news highlights from over the last 12 months. Palmerston motocross rider Courtney Duncan received a hero's welcome back in September, and fire crews battled a scrub and tussock fire on the hills behind Dunedin.
1.5 kilometres of St Kilda Beach in Dunedin was transformed into a massive art canvas by Dunedin artist Tony Gillies and about 50 helpers to promote suicide awareness. Rakes and sticks were used to carve nearly 685 giant hearts into the sand, each representing one of the people who took their own life in New Zealand last year. As intended, the tide eventually washed the sand clear. 10 unusual aircraft were shipped by container from Australia to the Wanaka Transport and Toy Museum. They included a Sikorsky helicopter and a Russian MiG fighter jet.
Well, we've got like the Vampire. It's not a standard Vampire, it's one that was used in the Navy for on and off the aircraft carriers, so it's a little bit different to what we had.
Palmerston motocross rider Courtney Duncan was welcomed back with a hero's welcome after having been recently crowned Women's World Motocross Champion.
I've known all these people in here pretty much my whole life, and all of these people have been through it with me. I mean, it's hard to describe it, like, especially the city in general. Like, I come home 3 years in a row and with failures, but still the city raised me, you know, each and every time. So to be able to come home this time and bring the medal, you know, not only for myself but for these people in the city, it's special.
A few days later, Duncan was feted again at her old high school in Palmerston in the town's first civic parade since the Queen visited in 1954. Workers from Port Otago objected against having to work long hours when fatigue could become a hazard. Their protest received support from other union members, such as train driver Dave Kearns.
The issue that these members from Port have got is around being asked to work more hours, and the issue is around fatigue. They know when it's safe to work late at night and what fatigue does to their body, as we do in rail. We drive trains at night on our own right through the night. If the workers say it's unsafe hours what they're being asked to do, that's good enough for me. They know better than anybody.
Fire crews worked hard to bring a scrub fire on Dunedin's Flagstaff Hill under control. The fire started near the Pineapple Track, and as the blaze spread towards Rudd Road in Helensburgh, threatening pine and eucalyptus plantations, 7 homes were evacuated as a precaution. And a bus shelter with seating was finally erected for people who use the bus to travel from Dunedin to other towns. A lack of shelter and seating meant passengers had been forced to stand on the footpath in all weathers. Workers said the seats had been recycled from other decommissioned bus shelters.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. There were emotional scenes at Bathgate Park School today as pupils in the school community said goodbye to their outgoing principal who resigned earlier this year. Environmental officers have been busy checking water and environment measuring sites around Otago following last week's heavy rains. And tributes flowed yesterday for leading New Zealand genealogist Eleanor Leckie at Toitu Settlers Museum. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We have Hayden Meikle with us this evening. Kia ora, Hayden.
Good evening, Simon. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
Excellent. Good. It should be an interesting night. We've got plenty of good stories for tomorrow. Dunedin Hospital, as promised, we've got a story saying something about Dunedin Hospital, Simon. So they had the big meeting today. We'll have the very, very latest on any decisions that have been made. Mike Houlihan's all over that story. Not 100% sure what it's going to say, but it's going to say something, I assure you. Nice yarn on a couple from New York. Of course, it's cruise ship season in Dunedin, as anybody can see, walking around the streets. And we've got a couple who are on, believe it or not, their 69th cruise.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, Simon, but that's 69 more cruises than I've had. So that's something to aim for. And they are, they like Dunedin. Of course, it wasn't a fabulous day. Dunedin probably didn't have on its best face today. It was slightly wet, but they're talking about what they've seen around the world and what they like about little old Dunedin, so that should be good too. We've got the Shanghai delegation in Dunedin, and obviously the sister city relationship. I think it's hitting 25 years between the Chinese city and the New Zealand city of Dunedin, so that's interesting. We've got a yarn with Mark Lodge, Detective Lodge, a bit of a legend of the local scene. He's retiring after nearly 50 years in the force, so we'll have a good yarn looking back on him. He's been involved with some very high-profile cases. And we've also got a yarn with a new basketball Otago boss. So Peter Drew is somebody who's come back to Dunedin. Basketball as a sport is obviously thriving. He's from here originally, big fan of basketball, and we talked to him about his hopes for the sport and where it might go. So all that and much, much more. Should be a good paper.
Great, Hayden. Thanks very much. Now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the southern view, chivalry isn't dead on a rainy afternoon in Dunedin. Looking at the situation, a cold and windy day ahead tomorrow with showers and strong southwesterlies, though showers clear later in the day. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are set for cloudy skies and 18 degrees. Across to the northeast, where Nelson and Blenheim can expect rain and 20 degrees each. Moving down to Canterbury, you'll have some cloudy skies with rain across this area. Kaikoura, Christchurch and Ashburton should all reach 16 degrees. To the southern towns, Balclutha, the Catlins, Lumsden and Gore, you're all due to have strong southwesterlies with showers clearing and 11 degrees. Heading up to central Otago, where the temperatures remain wintry, Wanaka and Queenstown you're due to become fine as you head for 14 degrees. Alexandra, you're also scheduled to improve, reaching 15. And Te Anau, your showers should be clearing as you head for just 11. To the northern towns, Timaru, you should plan for strong southwesterlies, showers clearing and 14. Oamaru, your forecast is similar, but you're one lower on 13. Twizel and Omarama, you're both due for decreasing southwesterlies becoming fine, and it's 15 degrees for you. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with southwesterlies and looking at an overnight low of 9. Overcast with rain tomorrow, but rain eases to showers during the afternoon with strong, cold southwesterly winds, a high of 12 and a low of 7. Mostly cloudy on Thursday, the cloud increasing during the day and rain developing. Moderate, milder northerlies by evening, a high of 16 and a low of 11. And in Invercargill, rain tonight with gusty southwesterlies at an overnight low of 9 degrees. Cloudy with showers tomorrow until mid-afternoon. Expect strong, cold southwesterly winds decreasing during the day, a high of 15 and a low of 8. Cloud increasing and more rain developing on Thursday with freshening northwesterly winds, a high of 15 and a low of 11. That's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.